Even though this fence is blocked off the property, not even below -30 temperatures kept them from congregating outside. After all, it's not where they believe, but what they believe that's caused their perseverance.
Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
Hey guys, I'm here to bring you a quick update on the Without Papers pizza story. And it seems that the city of Calgary and Alberta and, well, Canada in general is making it even harder for people to gather outside in opposition to the segregation that the state is now seeking to impose. If you're unaware of the Without Papers pizza story, let me quickly bring you up to date. Things kicked off when Calgary implemented their COVID-19 vaccine passport bylaw. Aptly named, this bylaw forces many business owners to require proof of vaccination from their customers. The owner of Without Papers Pizza could not openly discriminate against his clientele over this state-sponsored hall pass, so he chose not to comply. Following this decision, they had their license taken off the wall by some low-level bureaucrat, but they continued operations normally. After a brief time, they themselves decided to close the restaurant doors, but by means of bringing out fresh pizza to the sidewalk, continued to serve anyone who was hungry from just outside their doors. This led to the seizure of their homemade picnic benches, their milk crates, and even their sign saying "We accept all." Eventually, in the cover of night, police locked them out of the property entirely. Protests were being had in the area weekly, but that later evolved into more of a support group type event over time. Even as below -30-degree weather crept into being, this gathering provided those in attendance with food, sanctuary from discrimination, and even gifts from Santa for the children who attended before Christmas. All the while, parking lot authorities and Calgary police continued to warn them about everything from loud music, standing in the wrong spots, gathering in the parking lot, and even using small fire pits to keep warm in below -30 temperatures. However, if all this wasn't draconian enough, authorities have now put a fence around the parking lot where they used to gather. This isn't the first time in Alberta we've seen behavior like this from soulless authorities. As you may have heard, this also happened to Grace Life Church, who, unlike most churches, didn't hide the fact that due to their faith and backed by the criminal code and the charter, they were defying public health orders. Pastor James Coates spent time in jail for sticking to his faith. Much like another pastor, Artur Pawlowski, who I recently interviewed just hours before he was arrested again. He was arrested after being part of a peaceful vigil held outside the home of the Minister of Health. Artur's arrest kicked off 2022, and now, just days after, the powers that be have now put a fence around a literal parking lot in an attempt to stop like-minded people from gathering. Now the parking authorities have placed signage around the area saying the lot is closed for maintenance. However, it's not a secret that they have been trying to remove the group from standing on some pavement that lays in the area. And this all makes me wonder, first, they put a fence around a church, then they put a fence around a piece of pavement. How soon until they put a fence around your front door? You know, much like vaccines, they won't pin you down and force you to take it, but they certainly will do everything in their power to hurt those who don't live a life sanctioned by bureaucrats who haven't had to worry about their employment over the last 2 years. 2 years in which some of the harshest restrictions on the planet have come to be here in Canada. And what do we have to show for all this? Many argue the situation is now worse than it used to be, and this is all because of the government mandates. But what's going to happen moving forward? Well, I don't know, I can't tell you right now, but I know this group perseveres. So, you know, maybe it's time we stop looking at what these mandates can do to help the situation, and let's start looking at what they've already done. Suicides and overdoses are on the rise. Food shortages are happening across the country. And our prime minister has the gall to tell us who haven't been vaccinated that we're racist, sexist extremists, which is ironic considering he leads the way in procuring the greatest division we've ever seen, literally ripping families in half from coast to coast to coast.
If you don't want to get vaccinated, that's your choice. But don't think you can get on a plane or a train besides vaccinated people and put them at risk.
We choose the rights of Canadians who got vaccinated. He chooses anti-vaxxers.
Oui, on va s'en sortir de cette pandémie par la vaccination. Puis on en connaît tous des gens qui sont en train d'hésiter un petit peu. On va continuer d'essayer de les convaincre. Mais il y a aussi des gens qui sont farouchement opposés à la vaccination.
Qui sont extrémistes.
Qui ne croient pas dans la science, qui sont souvent misogynes, souvent racistes aussi. C'est un petit groupe, mais qui prend de la place. Et là, il faut faire un choix en tant que leader, en tant que pays. Est-ce qu'on Est-ce qu'on tolère ces gens-là ou est-ce qu'on dit, ben voyons, la plupart des gens, presque 80 des Québécois, ont fait ce qu'il fallait faire, se sont fait vacciner, on veut revenir aux choses qu'on aime faire. C'est pas ces gens-là qui vont nous bloquer. Maintenant,
But let me end on a bit of a positive note. Even though this fence is blocked off the property, not even below -30 temperatures kept them from congregating outside. After all, it's not where they believe, but what they believe that's caused their perseverance. Well, here at Rebel News, we are fighting back against this medical discrimination. So if you want to help support that fight, go to fightvaccinepassports.com. Your donations go straight to the legal team taking these mandates to court. And if all goes well, this will set a precedence for the rest of the country, effectively ending these vaccination mandates. And let me just say, you have a choice in how you want to live your life. Personally, I'd recommend you stop living it in fear. And if you stop doing that, well, we could overwhelm this draconian system. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. For Rebel News, I'm Sydney Fizzard. Fight Vaccine Passports is a donation portal we have set up in conjunction with the Democracy Fund. Our donations go straight to the legal defense taking vaccine mandates to court. And one of these cases could set a precedent for the rest of the country, which is why we're doing it. And we can only do it with your help. And that would be your donations at fightvaccinepassports.com. And donations do qualify you for a charitable tax receipt.